Hello friends, welcome back. Today's class we're looking at the scapula. So we're going to do a few different cards from different various positions for the scapula. You'll notice I've got a few blocks here which will come in handy for one of the positions we're going to get into. If you do not have blocks, this many blocks in particular, I know not everyone has that many blocks, and you can use something at home, whether it's a stack of books, something like that. Get a little bit creative. We're going to be lying down on our bellies with our arms propped up. So I've got these 4 blocks here. So let's start today. We'll start with neck cards, then we'll do our scapular cards, and then we'll get into our base position. We're working on some retraction today. So arms just down by your sides. You can be in this position like I am. You can be tall, kneeling, standing for this first part is totally fine. Take a breath in, a little bit of brace and tension through the body, and then nice and slowly begin to tuck your chin to your chest. And start to slowly lift that chin over towards the left side or looking over towards the left, ear to shoulder. And start to look up towards the sky, nice and slowly, trying to keep the shoulders down. And then working that chin over towards the right shoulder, ear to shoulder, chin to chest, and continue in the same direction. We'll go 2 in each direction today. Nice and slow and controlled. Try and maintain the same pace and tempo the whole time. You still got a bit of tension through the rest of the body here. When you get back to center on the second round, reverse 2 to the right. Ear to shoulder, extend. And pay attention here, where do you feel the most sort of stuck or any little sticky points in the neck? We're not going to really do any work on the neck today, but generally working a little bit of scapula, you'll probably find towards the end of class. When we retest these, the neck might feel a little bit different. All right. So for the next one, we're going to do scapular cards. I'm going to hold onto a block for this one, but you don't have to. You can just have your hands in fists. You can have your hands down by your side as well. Totally fine. So I'm just going to have my hands, I'm going to show side on for this one. And I'm grabbing onto the block and a little bit of squeeze into the block. If you got it, take a breath in, bit of brace through the body, and then punch forward. Then shoulders up towards the ears, and then retract back, and then down towards your pant pockets. Forward, up, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down, and reverse. Up, forward, down, and back, up, forward, down, and back. One more time. Up, forward, down, and back. So those are our scapular cards. We're going to do those multiple times today from different positions. Let's get to our first sort of base position here. We're going to be lying down and we're going to be using the blocks for this one. I'll firstly just show you the setup here without the blocks. So I'm going to be lying down here and I'm going to end up having my sort of hands on the blocks here with my elbows tucked in. What I'd like you to do from here with the forehead down on the ground, I'm just going to lift mine up just so I can talk a bit better here. You're going to retract and draw, squeeze the shoulder blades together and have a look at how high those hands get off the ground here. So I know for me, if I pop 2 blocks underneath there, I probably won't be able to get off those blocks, and that's a height that I want you to set up on. So if I got my blocks here now, I'm set up on these blocks, I got my elbows sort of tucked in a little bit here, I'll bring these in a little bit closer. So now, with my forehead down on the ground here, if I try and squeeze my shoulder blades and try and lift those hands off the blocks, I can't lift off, and that's the height that I want you on. So pause the video, set yourself up, and then we'll get ready we'll do, let's do 2 rounds of pails and rails, and 2 actual rounds of lift-offs, which I'll explain you through as we go. So first you just come down, you find yourself in a little bit of a stretch here. The shoulder blades are pulling together. And just take a few breaths here. So the first action, being our pails action, is from the shoulder blades pressing down into the blocks. We start at a light intensity at about 20%, and we're going to ramp up to a max intensity today for about 15 seconds. So that is the P, pails action. The rails action is still in the same position, trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together and trying to lift off of those blocks, but you shouldn't be able to if you set yourself up at the right height. All right, so let's get set for round number 1. So take a breath in, a good brace through your whole body here. Then at about 20%, think about the shoulder blades protracting, pressing down into the blocks. Ramp your intensity up to 40%. Ramp up to 60%. 80%. Find your max, safest, greatest effort and hold Those shoulder blades trying to press down, trying to protract through the blocks, through the ground. And we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max effort, squeeze shoulder blades together. Try and get light on those blocks. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Imagine there's like a pencil between your shoulder blades. You're trying to crush that pencil and your hands are getting light in those blocks. And we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. So we're going to do another round of that, but before that, we'll do some lift-offs. So if I'm in this position here with 2 blocks, I'm now going to take one of those blocks off. If you were on 1 block, then you would just be down on the ground here. So now that we've removed that block, now when I squeeze my shoulder blades together, if you look at my hands here, now when I squeeze, I do get a little bit of lift off the blocks, and that's what I want for this one. So whether your hands are down on the ground or on the blocks here, it's all good. We're going to do 12 reps, so 12 lift-offs, squeezing the shoulder blades together, squeeze the top for a second, and then relax back down. All right, so take a breath in. Good, strong brace through the body, and then lift off, squeeze shoulder blades together, back on. Lift off, back on, lift off, back on. Lift off, back on, 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 4 to go, lift off, and on, lift off, squeeze your shoulder blades together, back on, last 2, squeeze, 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 back on, 1 more time, lift off and squeeze, and rest. All right, we're gonna do that same sequence 1 more time. So now we grab, if you're using 2 blocks, whatever you did for your first round, you'll set yourself back up again, and we'll do the exact same thing. 1 max effort pails and rails, followed by 1 round of lift-offs. And then we'll do a few more scapular cars from a few different positions. Do some neck cars, and we're all done for this short little class. So we're in here, we might find a little bit of a stretch here with the shoulder blades pressing together here. I've got my elbows sort of tucked in, and I've got my hands on the blocks here. All right, let's take a breath in. A good brace, squeezing belly, glutes, arms, everything's working here. And then at 20%, start driving from the shoulder blades down into the blocks. Increase to 40%. Increase to 60% through the whole body. 80%. Find your safest, greatest effort and hold. The shoulder blades trying to press down towards the ground, but they're blocked here by the blocks. But we're driving down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max effort. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Try and get light. Try and get off of those blocks. Give me what you got. This is our last round of pails and rails. Keep holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We can reset. We'll drop that top block off. So now we're a little bit of a lower height, and we should be able to hopefully achieve the lift-offs. And again, you might be on the ground here, that's fine. All right, take a breath in. Another good brace, and then lift off, squeeze together, and back on. Lift off, back on. Lift off, and on. Lift off, back on. Lift off, back on, lift off, back on, we're halfway, lift off, back on, lift off, back on, lift off, back on, lift off, back on, 2 more, lift off, squeeze those shoulder blades together, back on, last rep, squeeze, 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 and set down. All right, good work. So we're going to go through some scapular cars now from a few different positions. The first one is just going to be in this position here. We're going to do, so the scapular cars, we always do 1 direction and then reverse that direction. So what we're going to do, we're going to have our arms sort of out by our sides here. We'll do 3 in each direction here. And we'll do 3 in each direction here, then 3 each direction here, and then we'll move to a different position. So we're trying to really sort of fatigue in this little time frame here. So we'll start with the arms down by your sides. Again, take a breath in, irradiate tension through the body, and then shoulder blades up towards the ears, retract back together, down and forward, up, back, down and forward, up, back, down and forward, and reverse, back, up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. One more, back, up, forward, and down. Arms out in front of you, but a little bit out to the side. Same thing, breath in. Good, brace, elevate up, back, down, and forward, up, back, down, and forward. One more, up, back, down, and forward. Reverse, back, up, forward, and down, back, squeeze, up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. Come all the way up to this tall position, not straight up, but a little bit out to the side. Same thing, breath in, irradiate, and begin. Up, forward, down, and back, up, forward, down, and back, up, forward, down, and back. Reverse, forward, up, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down. One more time, forward, up, back, and down. Beautiful. So when we're going through the scapular cars, we're going to do them from 2 more positions. Try not to make it like robotic. Like if I show you from here, try not to make it like forward, up, back, and down. Try and make it like a circular motion, forward, up, back, and down. So it's kind of like you're doing like a circle going through those motions, but you are trying to get as much. So when you're going forward, you're reaching as far forward as you can. When you run out, you go up. When you can't go up anymore, you go back. So as soon as you hit your end on each of those ranges, you're moving into the next range. You're combining the previous range with the new one you're moving into. So if I was going through protraction forward, I'm going up, but I'm still protracted. And now I'm going back, but I'm still elevated. And now I'm going down, but I'm still retracted. Hope that makes sense. So let's do a couple more. We're going to go from a tabletop position, then a sphinx, and we'll finish with neck cars. So come to this position. Now we're a little bit more loaded in this position. So again, we'll go 3 in each direction. So elevate up towards the ears, retract down, so back, then down towards your pockets, and up, forward, back, down, and up, forward, back, down, and up, and reverse, down, back, forward, and up, down, back, forward, and up. One more time, down, back, forward, and up. I'm going to finish with a sphinx version. Now, none of these versions are sort of better or worse than the other. It's just a little bit more challenging as you come to sort of more load here. So now in sphinx position, exactly the same thing. So take a breath in, good bit of brace, and then elevate shoulders towards the ears, retract together, and down, and forward, back, down, up, forward, back, down, and protract, and reverse, back, down, forward, and up, back, down, forward, and up. Last time, down, back, up, and forward. We'll finish with some neck cars. Again, just test these ones out, do these ones really nice and slow, and just see if that neck feels any different, even though we didn't really do any neck work. Does it feel any different from where we started? 2 in each direction. I'll let you do these ones on your own. Enough more like blabbering from me. So when you begin, 2 neck cars, nice and slow in each direction. Nice, slow and controlled, maintaining that same tempo. Over one more on this side. And done. All right, that's our class for today, everyone. If you have any questions, comments, please do let me know. I hope that works nicely for your neck, sort of loosen up the shoulders, shoulder blades as well. Yeah, I hope that one has you feeling really good. I'll catch you next time.